Tonight, celebrating 3 years of election, President and Prime Minister witnessed the releasing of maiden waters of Murugahakkanda Kaluganga multipurpose development project. Paving the way for development, Sri Lanka's longest flyover built at a cost of 4.7 billion rupees now open for vehicular movement. Paying heed to opposition requests, Parliamentary Special Sitting call to debate report on bond inquiry. Burning tanker in danger of exploding. 2 days after oil tanker collision, fears of an environmental disaster in the East China Sea grows. And stars in call for change. 75th Golden Globe Awards marked with calls to end sexual harassment and to empower women. A brand new flyover along with a new multi-purpose development project and women in Hollywood making a stand against sexual harassment. Hello everyone, this is First at 9. All those stories coming right up. But before that, we want to welcome all our viewers joining us across Sri Lanka and from around the world. Now let's begin with our lead story. The Murugahakkanda Kaluganga multipurpose development project, considered the largest irrigation project to be undertaken in 4 decades, was vested with the public today. The project was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe in line with celebrations of President Maithripala Sirisena's 3rd year of assuming office.
On the 8th of January in 2015, President Maithripala Sirisena was elected as the President of Sri Lanka, winning 6.2 million votes in favour of his election. In line with his 3rd year anniversary of being elected as President of Sri Lanka, the Murugahakkanda Kaluganga multipurpose development project was vested with the public today, with the releasing of maiden waters from the reservoir. As per tradition, 8 water pots were filled with the maiden waters to be offered to the sacred Jayasri Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura. Acting Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Pang Chung-Zu, and officials of the state-owned Sino Hydro Corporation that carried out the engineering process of the project handed over a communique to the President with the official statement of successful project conclusion. With the Murugahakkanda Kaluganga multipurpose development project being vested with the public, the Mahaveli multipurpose national project, which commenced in 1976, is now officially complete. The $450 million Murugahakkanda multipurpose project commenced on the 25th of January 2007 with the objective of supporting agricultural needs in an area spanning 81,422 hectares. Waters of the Murugahakkanda and Kaluganga reservoirs will flow to far-flung areas of the country, including the Vanni, Matale, Anuradhapura, Trincomalee and Polonnaruwa. The government expects to increase rice production by 109,000 tons, amounting to an estimated $1.67 million annually. In addition, water from the Murugahakkanda reservoir will be used to power the 25-megawatt Murugahakkanda hydroelectric station, which was also officially declared open by the President and the Prime Minister today.
එනිසාවෙන් 2013 වසරේ මෙය ජනතා නියමිතව තිබුණත් 2013 වන විට
Later in the day, the event to mark the conclusion of the Mahaveli multipurpose national project was held in Polgolla.
This event should have been held 5 years ago, but we couldn't do so due to the political situation. Several people suggested that we assign a name to the Murugahakkanda reservoir. I thought of one of the greatest engineers and a humanitarian we have had in 1994 during my tenure as a deputy minister who looked into the Murugahakkanda project. He gave me advice on this while going into the jungle and talking about its plans. That was Dr. A.N.S. Kulasinghe, and I proposed this project be named after him.
Murugahakkanda ජලාශය නම් කළ යුතුයි කියලා මම මේ අවස්ථාවේදී යෝජනා කරනවා.
Meanwhile, the Rajagiri flyover constructed at the Valikata Junction was also declared open today by President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The 4-lane, 534-metre-long flyover, which is built at a cost of 4.7 billion rupees, is identified the longest flyover built in the country.
Construction work on the Raj Green flyover began in 2016 at a cost of 4.7 billion rupees, with funding from the Spanish government to provide a solution to the traffic congestion in the Raj Green area. Comprising 4 lanes, the 533-meter length flyover expects to increase speed limits of vehicles. Although the flyover construction was scheduled for completion by the end of this year, the project was ready 11 months ahead of schedule. The newly built flyover was declared open by the head of state and the Prime Minister today.
The government of good governance began a massive drive of industrialization, tourism and services sector developments, as well as modernization of agriculture and fishery sectors. We require infrastructure development, highways, electricity and water to support our investments. This is part of a 2-year plan. I consider this as a key in infrastructure development drive. At this significant moment, I remember late Venerable Maduluave Sobithuthera, one of the pioneers of the January 8th revolution. Honorable Prime Minister, Minister Champika and Kirialla, several individuals requested me yesterday to name the flyover after the Venerable Maduluave Sobithuthera. Therefore, I propose to name this flyover after him and request the ministers to take necessary arrangements. In the past 3 years, we have clearly overcome obstacles that barred us in developing the country, and we also won the world. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa accuses that the Good Governance government is celebrating its 3rd anniversary by taking credit for projects that has been during the tenure of his government. In a 4-page statement to media, the former president alleges that the present government borrowed over $14.6 billion in foreign currency loans alone during a short period of 36 months in power. He adds that even though the amount suffices to build 5 Norachole power plants, 5 Hambantota ports and 2 more southern expressways, the government has failed to even build a culvert. He further adds that from January 2015 to date, the Good Governance government has also borrowed over 5.7 trillion rupees through the issue of treasury bills and treasury bonds. Speaking on the 2 projects vested with the public today, the former president said, quote, "The government commissioned the Morakahakanda project and opened the Rajagriya flyover to coincide with its 3rd anniversary so as to answer critics that the Yahapalana government has not built anything tangible despite massive foreign borrowings," unquote. The statement goes on to say that the Morakahakanda project was, however, planned and construction commenced under his government in 2007 in accordance with the 2005 Mahinda Chintana program, and likewise the Rajagriya flyover was planned and money was allocated for its construction in 2014. Well, a special sitting of Parliament has been convened on Wednesday, the 10th of January, to debate the bond report following the request of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Acting Secretary General of Parliament Neil Iddavala, issuing a communique today, said all parliamentarians have been informed to attend the special sitting. The statement adds that a party leaders meeting chaired by Speaker Karu Jayasuriya has been scheduled for tomorrow to discuss the agenda for the January 10th session. The first sitting of Parliament for year 2018 was earlier scheduled on January 23rd. On denying the revelations made through the bond inquiry report, former Minister Ravi Karunanayake reiterated the need for the original report to be released. Journalists continue to question the former minister at several occasions that he took part over the course of the day.
It's not just to mention our names. We too say that if there are such people, then they should be punished. We are not afraid. The central bank is not ours. They say we gave false evidence, but what does that mean? I should mention that even if they kill me, do not defame me. The president will not say such a thing. It may have been written in the document that he was asked to read.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම නැහැ කියන නිසානේ මම මේ සටන් කරන්නේ.
සෝෂල් ප්‍රේමචන්ද්‍ර ඇමතිවරයා චෝදනා කරනවා බැඳුම්කර කොමිසමේ වාර්තාවත් සමග වගකීම අග්‍රාමාත්‍යවරයාත් බාරගත යුතුයි.
What has the Prime Minister done and what have we done? We will speak up once the original report is out.
එතකොට මේ ওই වංචාව වෙන සිදුවෙන කාලේ මේ කාගේ අතේද මහවැද්දුව තිබුණේ?
ඔබතුමාලා දන්නවද කාගේ?
You know who was controlling it? That was not me.
අගමැතිවරයාගේ අතේද තිබුණේ මේක?
It was not under the Prime Minister.
You know that there is offence by the name of aiding. If there is offence, there can be aiding and abetting.
Similar incidents to this controversial bond auction didn't occur between 2008 and 2014.
I'm categorically denying. And I think it's an outright lie in order to show a different situation from what it is. The same people are shouting at others saying here there are other rogues. If there were rogues, would the Auditor General have done a specific, please tell me, I will go for it. I will be found, I'm not in Singapore, I will be there.
Members of the Pivithuru Hela Urumaya meanwhile attended a media briefing today, clad in black attired and carrying swords.
We requested the Speaker to convene Parliament in order to debate contents of the report. Just after we made this request, the Prime Minister too made the same request from the Speaker. He also said that the bond report will make a revelation of a large scam for which the Rajpaksas will have to take full responsibility. Whoever listens to this story will think that this bond issuance was carried out during the tenure of the Rajapaksas, and this was discovered by the Prime Minister himself.
Pickpocket karya.
Welcome back, everyone. On to the election now. The chief prelate of the Askiri chapter, Most Venerable Warakagodinjan Ratnathera, emphasizes that all parties must resort to a non-violent pathway during the election period. Thera made a special statement to media today regarding the upcoming local government election.
Independent elections have been held for 50 to 60 years in this country, and it became a period of violence. Minds become corrupt due to violence, and that is not necessary at all. All we want from an election is to select suitable individuals to govern.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General informed the Supreme Court today that it was the 5-member committee appointed by the subject minister which had divided the Ambagamo Pradesha Sabha into 3 parts during the delimitation process. Following Attorney General's statement, the court postponed the examination of the petition which requests Supreme Court to nullify the gazette dividing Ambagamo Pradesha Sabha on the 29th of January.
I don't know from which aspect the Elections Commissioner is seeing this. There should be freedom for a Buddhist to engage in religious observances. The Elections Commissioner has no right to prohibit that.
The 119th birth anniversary of the founder of Sri Lanka Freedom Party, late Prime Minister SWRD Bandaranaike, was celebrated at a ceremony held at the Raj Green this morning. The ceremony took place under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena, along with the participation of many seniors of the party, including the daughter of SWRD Bandaranaike, former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga.
The late Prime Minister SWRD Bandaranaike was born on the 8th of January 1899 and graduated with honours in modern greats at the Oxford University. After returning to Ceylon, he entered politics as a strong opponent of the colonial administration and a committed advocate of self-rule, indigenous culture and language. He created the Sri Lanka Freedom Party on the 2nd of September 1951 and later in April 1956 became the 4th Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. As the Prime Minister, SWRD Bandaranaike passed key legislation such as Paddy Lands Act, the establishment of the Sri Lanka Transport Board and the Sinhala Only Act, which replaced English with Sinhala as the official language of the country. On the 25th of September in 1959, Prime Minister Bandaranaike was assassinated by an individual impersonating a Buddhist monk.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Derana 24/7.
Welcome back everyone, on to business news now. Fitch Ratings says Sri Lankan banks are likely to significantly boost issuance of Basel III compliant Tier 2 instruments with 2018, with most banks needing to raise capital to meet higher requirements that take full effect in January 2019 and to support balance sheet expansion. The rating agency added that banks will also need to undertake significant Basel III Tier 2 issuances as a result of the phasing out of legacy instruments and ongoing redemptions. Fitch has rated Basel III instruments of 4 Sri Lankan banks since the framework was introduced in July 2017. Only Sampath Bank has so far undertaken public issuance in the domestic market. A bit of international business news. Today, China launched a $4.63 billion investment fund to boost the services trade industry in an effort to further improve the country's foreign trade structure. The fund was jointly set up by the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce and China Merchant Capital Investment.
Latest government data showed China's services trade deficit for the January-November period last year stood at $234.8 billion. Meanwhile, British International Trade Secretary Liam Fox, who engaged in a 3-day tour in China, said that the United Kingdom hopes China will further open up its service sector as the bilateral trade in services is on the rise.
Can we open up trade in services? We're already seeing rising UK exports in things like educational services. Here in China, we'll want to see how we can improve that, and we'll want to see how we can get trade and investment to move in both directions.
Oil prices were stable today, supported by a slight decline in the number of US rigs drilling for new production, with crude holding just below near 3-year high reached last week. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $61.50 a barrel, 6 cents above their last settlement. Brent crude futures were at $67.66 a barrel, 4 cents above their last close. Meanwhile, world stock market hovered close to all-time highs as the best start to a year in 8 years showed little signs of running out of steam, with a combination of strong global growth and low inflation. European stocks opened higher, hitting their highest levels since August 2015, while Asian markets inched towards all-time peaks. Wall Street last week posted its best start in a year in more than a decade. Well, let's take you to the stock market now. The Colombo Bulls extended a positive momentum from last week and closed in green, driven by foreign flows at the beginning of trading week. The ASPI edged 25.78 higher to 6,540.51, while the S&P SL20 gained 26.12 to 3,810.05. Market turnover reached 1.7 billion rupees and crossings accounted for over 85% of the turnover. Foreign investors closed the session by net buyers of 33 million rupees worth of shares, accounting for 60% of turnover. We now have RM Sivanandan from the Colombo Stock Exchange for more details.
The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,984.87 billion rupees. Today, there were 14 crossings and the crossing turnover was 1,496.49 million rupees. Today's foreign purchases was 1,061.45 million rupees and the foreign sales was 1,027.6 million rupees.
On to international news now. Fears of an environmental disaster in the East China Sea grew as the Sanchi oil tanker continued to leak oil 2 days after colliding with a cargo ship. Chinese officials have told state media that the Sanchi is in danger of exploding and sinking.
The Panama flag Sanchi was bringing its cargo of oil from Iran to South Korea when it collided with Hong Kong registered freighter CF Crystal, carrying grain from the US in the East China Sea on Saturday, about 260 kilometers off the coast of Shanghai. The freight ship, which was carrying US grain, suffered limited damage and the 21 crew members, all Chinese nationals, were rescued. The tanker, run by Iran's leading oil shipping operator, has on board 136,000 tons of condensate, which is an ultra-light version of crude oil. The crew of the Sanchi oil tanker, 30 Iranians and 2 Bangladeshis, remain missing despite international rescue efforts so far. Chinese Transportation Ministry says rescue efforts to reach the site were being beaten back by toxic clouds.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Derana 24/7.
A bit of sports now, on to rugby. Kandy Sports Club registered a massive 64-12 victory over Air Force in a second round match of the 2017 Rugby League held in Ratmalani yesterday. Kandy's total of 64 includes 10 tries and 7 conversions, while the total of Air Force includes 2 tries and 1 conversion. Meanwhile, in another thrilling encounter between CHNFC and Sri Lanka Police played at the Police Park, CHNFC won the match 33-31. CHNFC scored 33 points with 5 tries and 4 conversions, while Sri Lanka Police scored the 31 with 4 tries, 4 conversions and 1 penalty. A bit of cricket now. Australia reclaimed the coveted urn as they won the Ashes series 4-0 with their victory today. After Australian skipper Steve Smith declaring the innings at 649 for 7, England could only score 180, handing Australia a victory of an innings and 123 runs.
England resumed the final day of the Ashes series on 96 for 4 without skipper Joe Root being at the crease as he was hospitalised due to dehydration during the previous night. Nathan Lyon picked Moeen Ali's wicket for the 7th time in the series when he was at 13. Skipper Root, however, returned to continue his innings and clinched a much-needed 50, playing an inning of courage. Pat Cummins continued to attack, dismissing Johnny Bairstow, Stuart Broad and Mason Crane. James Anderson, together with Tom Curran, put up a slight fight towards the end but could not pull it over the line as Australia won by an innings and 123 runs, claiming a 4-0 series victory.
Australia have now won the Ashes series of 2017-18.
Watching Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Derana 24/7.
Let's take you to Hollywood now. The Golden Globes delivered a powerful, concerted message about and from women addressing sexual harassment and gender inequality. Yet they also highlighted the at times awkward challenges of tackling such sobering issues within an awkward show format. The 75th annual Golden Globe Awards yesterday was a night of first and a reminder of the power of Oprah. Here's a look at how the ceremony went off.
Welcome to the 75th annual Golden Globe Awards. And now your host for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, Seth Meyers.
It's one of Hollywood's biggest nights of the year as the Golden Globe Awards to honor film and TV were handed out in Hollywood last night. Proceedings kicked off with host Seth Meyers delivering a monologue which addressed some of the recent controversies to hit Hollywood and which delivered some understandably edgy humor.
For the male nominees in the room tonight, this is the first time in 3 months it won't be terrifying to hear your name read out loud. Did you hear about Willem Dafoe? Oh God, no. He was nominated. Don't do that. Don't.
As the formalities got underway, the first award of the night, Best Actress in a Limited Series or TV Movie, went to Nicole Kidman for Big Little Lies.
Oh, first cab off the rank. Yikes, that means my daughters are still awake. So, Sunny, Faith, I love you. I'm bringing this home to you, babies.
With an upset early on in the evening as the second award of the night, Best Supporting Actor went to Sam Rockwell for his role in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Sam Rockwell. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, baby, wow.
James Franco and Laura Dern were the next big winners of the night, with James taking the Best Musical or Comedy Actor prize for The Disaster Artist and Laura Dern adding another trophy to Big Little Lies tally as she won Best Supporting Actress in a limited series or TV movie.
Laura Dern.
Big Little Lies.
Alison Janney took the Best Supporting Actress trophy for her role in I, Tonya.
Alison Janney.
Meanwhile, Saoirse Ronan was named Best Musical or Comedy Actress for Lady Bird, making her a potential frontrunner for Oscar glory this year.
Oh, thank you. My mom's on FaceTime over there on someone's phone right now.
The Dramatic Acting Awards were rolled out, the first one going to Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. The final two awards of the night, Best Drama Actress and Best Film Drama, scored a double for 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, which saw Frances McDormand take Best Actress before the movie took the Best Film prize.
Yeah, but it was really great to be in this room tonight and to be a part of the tectonic shift in our industry's power structure. Trust me, the women in this room tonight are not here for the food. We are here for the work.
The Golden Globe goes to 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
But then it was time for one of the most emotionally charged moments of the night, as Oprah Winfrey became the latest recipient of Cecil B. DeMille Award and delivered the most powerful speech of the night.
For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men. But their time is up. Their time is up. I've interviewed and portrayed people who've withstood some of the ugliest things life can throw at you, but the one quality all of them seem to share is an ability to maintain hope for a brighter morning, even during our darkest nights. So I want all the girls watching here and now to know that a new day is on the horizon. They become the leaders who take us to the time when nobody ever has to say, "Me too," again. Thank you.
You are watching Sri Lanka's #1 news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Well, Katharina Chang is at the Other Derana Weather Centre with your forecast first evening edition.
Good evening and welcome to Forecast First. Now, temperatures are to vary between 18 and 28 degrees Celsius over the course of the day. Now, if you observe the map, you can see that the northern region of the island has a low pressure zone which will develop over the next 24 hours. Now, this could bring about some wet weather in the northern region, particularly in the areas of Jaffna, Batticaloa and Trincomalee, and some thunder showers in the Anuradhapura area. Now, some sunny weather is expected in the western region of the island as well as in Kandy and Galle, and some patches of cloudy weather can be expected in most parts of the southern region. That is it from your weather centre tonight. Let's now take a quick look at your city by city forecast.
And that is a part of your world tonight right here on Other Derana 24/7. I'm Mahesh Johnny. First at 9 will return tomorrow at the same time. Make sure you join us then. Also, when you have the time, make sure you connect up with us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/first@9. Also on Twitter at twitter.com/first@9. And before we go, we're going to take you back to Golden Globes, where black was the palette of choice for the red carpet appearances today. The stars were in solidarity with the Time's Up campaign to fight sexual harassment in the workplace. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.